Hello, everyone. I'm Chestic44, also known as Palai, and welcome to this Let's Play of Wrath of the Righteous. Last episode, was pretty much all admin-related stuff, specifically selling all the loot we had and seeing who could have gotten upgrades and who was fine. And that's all handled. I do like the look of this armor. It looks really cool. Anyway, with that all handled, I'm going to let one day pass in the crusade mode because we're about to have another logistics meeting and we need to get that settled. Alright, so let a day pass. Logistics reform. Actually, yeah, you know what? Head on. Move to where you're going. Setsuna, we'll take care of your stuff after the logistics reform. Hello, Dorgalinda. Commander, the supply situation is still critical. I'm doing all I can to find extra rations. Several caravans are already on their way, but this is reality here and now. We can't feed our whole army. Until our shipments get here, we'll have to cut rations. Who exactly will have to tighten their belts is for you to decide. I would proceed with caution and reduce everyone's provisions equally so as not to provoke any conflicts. There's still going to be discontent, so we'll need some fierce agitation. In the ranks. We'll tell the soldiers that the situation is about to improve. Yes, this is most likely a lie, but it's for their own good. What's there to think about? The strong and the capable get full rations, the rest get half. When the hungry riots begin, we'll have the good fighters on our side and the bad ones on the other. Makes sense, no? It is the duty of the strong to watch over the weak and not just on the battlefield. Above all others, we must feed those who might not make it through this time of hunger. The strong will endure, even on short rations. If we must cut rations, then we'll do it. But we won't lie about it. We'll tell the troops that things are bad and may become worse in the future. Then we'll see who's here for the food and who came to fight for the crusade. Where did this threat of hunger come from? Things were fine before. They were while Mendev was stable, but when Her Majesty departed for Iz, things began gradually to slide toward chaos. And now they're all the way there. We can't provide for ourselves. We can't grow anything on this land, and we can't breed any cattle. All our food comes from a single source, Mendev's military warehouses. And with every passing day, we're seeing less food and more warning signs. Let's hear the council's suggestions. Woljif, what's your advice? My vast life experience says that the kicks of a hungry mob are very painful. So, when our troops rise up over this food shortage, and it's gonna happen, believe you me, I'd rather be guarded by the bravest and the toughest warriors than look through the window at them leading the rebellion. Which is why we'd better feed the meanest ones first, and as for the rest... But we're responsible for all the soldiers who have entrusted their lives to us, not only for the strongest fighters. Alright, Aru, what do you suggest? The soldiers in our army are all different. Some are stronger, some are weaker. Surely the strong will want to share their provisions with their more fragile comrades. They're healthy and resilient, they'll persevere. But the weak, they might die of hunger. That way it will be fair, right? Dream on. If we treat our strongest troops like that, they'll just take off and we'll be left with the wimps. Or worse, they'll stay and take their rations by force. Who's gonna stop them, your scrawny friends? Lan, what's your opinion? Everyone will join the effort to conserve as much food as possible. We'll tell it like it is. It stinks today, and it's going to get worse tomorrow. Whoever refuses to suffer through hunger, cold, and danger with us is free to go. The rest must grit their teeth and hold on. We've been through a lot, and we're going to make it through this too. And who's gonna stay in the army after a speech like that? Nobody with a brain in their head, that's who. You know who I haven't seen around? Fighters who can live on thin air. That's just because we haven't suffered any air elementals. Dorgalinda, what would you recommend we do? I suggest we cut everyone's rations harshly. We'll save some provisions in case there's a problem with no deliveries, and we'll have to fight the lack of food with campaigning. Just hold on a little longer, our brave crusaders. Such is the price of victory, and so on. It's vile, but what else can we do? If we tell them the truth, there will be a panic and we'll lose the army. We'll damn everyone. It must be great to be able to live on propaganda. Clearly, I've spent my life learning the wrong stuff. Okay. So, if we choose Woljif, the Spellcasters and Hall of Champions get more recruitment, but the barracks and archery range have less. For Aru, the barracks and archery range have more, and the Spellcasters and Hall of Champions provide less. For Lan, Mythic units recruitment increases, but trainable units goes down. For Dorgalinda, all recruitment growth for trainable units goes down. Or, I'll do it this my way, nobody is going into battle on an empty stomach. Everyone gets the same food as before, we'll get through this somehow. That's the only one without a penalty. I'm choosing that. It's risky, Commander. What if the shipments don't make it? We'll all eat equally well, and then, as equals, we'll all starve to death. But it will be as you command. Commander, this crisis will be over soon, one way or another. If we've done things right, I'll assemble this council again and happily report our success to you. If not, well, we'll have done all we could. Right. Now then, we've got an army that needs to go and fight some other armies. Oh! The Free Crusaders wish to speak with me. Okay, we can do that soon. First things first. Setsuna. Now I can clear out this army. I can also clear out this one. This one's gonna be easy. It's only 3 forces. What the hell are they gonna do? I can even use a Firestorm, which will hit all 3 of them. This one's gonna be easy. Come on. There you go. Firestorm. And the Nalfeshni. Burn him with this. Look at that. The Nalfeshni are already all almost dead. Oh, you summoned some Broks. Good on you, you're dead. That wasn't a problem. One of the Nalfeshnis killed by the Crusaders was clutching a huge blood-stained bag in his arms. Inside, the soldiers discovered lots of weird trinkets, broken artifacts, relics that had lost their power, and other such oddities. Seems like this demon took joy in collecting broken magical things. Voice of the Cursed Bard. Alright. Let's see if I can take out this demon army fort. Overall, overrun with insects, but I can burn a lot of them. This might actually be tough. I need to weaken all of them a lot. Okay. Alright, wait. 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 Alright. Let's go in and do what damage we can. Okay. I think if I go here... There. Now, I can get a load of them without hitting any of my guys. That helped a lot. Alright, do a number on that Vescivore Swarm. We weaken them a lot. There we go. Almost killed one of them. I can wipe them out. Do so. That one's stunned. Maybe you can stun this through. Did not manage to stun it. But we've almost killed that one. And it's dead. Okay, we got this. %, we got this. You can finish off those. Got him. Perfect. All right. The magnificent cliffs of the fallen Sarkoris have become a lair for the horrifying Vestivore swarm. The soldiers have exterminated these heinous creatures and turned their caves into an impenetrable fortress with many hideouts, unassailable tunnels, and secret passages. And it looks like the only one we can go for is that force there, which... What are those? Shadow Dancers. I'm sure I can do a number on them. Yeah, I can take care of that, I think. Let me drop a save first. Alright, take out this army. Okay, another firestorm should actually hit all of them. That was easy. The Crusaders descended upon the enemy in the middle of ongoing negotiations. A small gang of demons was haggling fiercely with a group of strange mortals covered in shadows for an artifact the latter had brought. In the end, it was the commander's soldiers who gained the treasure, but before letting out his final breath, one of the mortals promised with an evil grin that the Onyx Alliance would not forget the insult inflicted. According to him, the powerful trading alliance from the Shadow Plane ran operations across many worlds. Shield of Chastise. +5 tower shield with a +4 competence bonus to AC against touch attacks. Pretty good. Hey, you leveled up. Hold, heal, or crushing despair. All enemy units gain a -2 penalty to attack and initiative for 3 rounds, and a penalty to combat morale. Target unit cannot move. Let's heal with heal. Okay. We've got an army here. I think I can probably kill that one. This one's gonna be a bit well... Giant salamanders, ash giant... you know what? Let's try against the Galu. I can't reach it. That's further down. Alright, we're going to get against this one. Okay. Shears, Galu, Painagi, Nabasu, and Shears. Alright, let's take care of these. That killed a lot of them. Shears aren't quite going to reach, but I do want to kill a load of the Nabasu. And now we can kill a load of these Shears. Oh, I forgot, I can actually send out another spell. Yeah, screw it. Fireball. That helps. Fire... again? Let's wait for them all to get closer. Down you go. Okay, you move in, you move in. You can kill the ghouls. And now we just finish off the Shears. Perfect. Well done, guys. The Crusaders wiped out the coal mine's guards, so hundreds of prisoners finally shambled out from the shafts, barely believing their luck. The soldiers stared at the slaves in horror, seeking to deny them the possibility of escape. The demons had blinded the slaves before driving them into the impenetrable darkness of the mine. And that clears out that path. Now we've got a path over here we need to clear out, but we need more capabilities before we can do that. So I'm going to send you back so you can regain some of your spell energy. And how are we on things here? Ooh, leadership is actually about to hit. That's actually really good. A leadership boost. I like it. I like it a lot. And we do have a new fort. I think... Let's go with... I'll go with support. What do we have in this area? This one is Citadel Watchtower Hospital. Okay. So I'll go with military supplies. By which I mean soldiers. So, archery range, barracks, spellcaster's lodge, stables. Alright. Not enough resources. Wow, we've used up a lot, haven't we? Alright, skip a day. Actually, hold on. First, set... Oh, wait, I can't yet. Still needs a couple more days. Alright, skip a day. Strengthen the chain of command. Definitely gonna do that. The voice of the cursed bard. Let me see what that does. Give me a sec. Interesting things. I don't think I'm gonna use it up for anything. Don't really have anything I want it for. So I'll skip on that. Campaign, Agaboya, get into your position. Ooh! We can summon more units. We can get clerics. Okay. Oh, wait. Clerics and... Okay. Summon the clerics so we can at least add them to our group. Sorcerers! And more clerics. Alright. Clerics. You're gonna join in with the reserves. Okay, so... Agaboya, you've got Hedge Knights, War Priests, and Spearmen. So, there's the Spearmen, the Hedge Knights, and the War Priests. You, head over to here, join up with Agaboya. Agaboya, go pick them up, please. Thank you. That'll work. And we're also getting champions, marksmen, and I'll take 2 groups of sorcerers. Arm them as much as I can. Setsuna, head over and pick them up. There you go. Okay. That's all I can do with them right now. So let's let one more day pass. Chain of command getting strengthened. Defenders of freedom. Summon the Yamazadas. The Hand of Retribution. A follower of the goddess Milani has arrived in Dresden in secret and committed a murder. His victim was an officer from Galt who had run from the revolution. Next to the body, they found a note that read, "Everyone will pay," and a list of future victims that included several other officers. They deny being involved in anything. We can help the vigilante for diplomacy points, catch the murderer for leadership experience, or accuse Galt and demand compensation. Adds diplomacy points and materials points. Huh. Interesting. We're going to accuse Galt. By making use of his contacts, Daeron will blow this incident out of proportion until it becomes a diplomatic row. To avoid damaging their relations with Mendev, Galt will pay a generous compensation and will behave in a more supportive manner. Alright. Setsuna... Let's see. Setsuna can pick these guys up. We got boom, boom, and boom. And Setsuna. You are going to make your way down to here. But you still need to gather up more energy, so I'm going to let you sit for a bit. Now, we have a council meeting. Hello. My lady! An unfamiliar knight enters the hall. A white-bearded old man clad in armor that's polished to a sheen and adorned with an image of Iomede's sword. Despite his age, his movements are confident and his eyes are sharp. The knight's voice trembles ever so slightly, not because of his years, but because of his barely restrained temper. I have come to report treason. Who are you? Sir Thomas Longar, paladin by the grace of Iomede and your loyal servant. Until recently, I was Captain Harmaton's adjutant, whatever. I was mostly involved in staff work. Alas, I'm no longer of age to be fighting on the front lines. A shame that my chance to introduce myself to you has been made possible under such disgraceful circumstances. Where's Captain Harmaton? I'd say he's already made it halfway to Nerosian. That's what I've come here to report, my lady. You are, of course, familiar with the Wary. They're a circle of schemers who have been stirring up trouble practically since the beginning of your crusade. They're politicians undermining our holy cause with their petty intrigues. How many times have you routed them, and after each time they were back at it again? Sir Thomas shakes his fist, then gets a hold of himself and continues more calmly. I beg your pardon. I meant to tell you something that you didn't already know about them. Something I, sadly, didn't know either until now. The leader of the Wary this whole time, the one who incited their insubordination time and time again. It was none other than Captain Harmaton. That traitor, that blockheaded fool. Since the very beginning, he thought you were unworthy to lead the crusade. You thwarted each one of his preposterous intrigues, and now he has resolved to mutiny. The captain went to Nerosian to bring back an army, our supposed reinforcements. The moment you let them into the city, he'll order them to seize you. Once that's done, he'll try to take command of the crusade in your place. The nerve! If foolish arrogance could be used as firewood, this army would never have to worry about keeping itself warm in the winter again. What are you suggesting? I know that traitors must face retribution, but what if treason has not yet overwhelmed them completely? Grant the captain a chance to gather his wits. Let us hold a memorial service in honor of the fallen crusaders. Once reinforcements arrive, we'll invite them to join us in paying our respects to our comrades. Remembrance of the fallen is always important, but it won't be much good to us right now. Our main concern must be coming up with a way to avoid bloodshed among crusaders. We could introduce a new holiday, let's say the Day of All Good Gods. We'll greet the army with a feast and make the new arrivals sit at one table with our veterans. Let them talk candidly, and they'll see that they're surrounded by brothers and sisters. When the captain gives his senseless order, no one will have the heart to obey. We'll turn the traitor's plan against him. Dresden will become a mousetrap. We let the traitors in, close the gates, and block them in a confined space. Then, we can demand that they turn in their ringleader. We will execute him in plain view of the troops. The good captain wants to play at intrigue. I'll show him how it's done. A couple of letters to the right people in Nerosian, and he will never leave the city. Sir Thomas, how did you learn of the treason? Remember the debacle the Wary had with their inane mutiny? That was when I first became suspicious. All of the traitors were close to the captain. Pity that I didn't report these suspicions on the spot. I didn't think it would befit an adjutant to inform on his own superior. But then I heard his speeches at the officer meeting, how he blamed you for suppressing the rightfully disgruntled traitors. These words put me on high alert. When the captain left for Nerosian to oversee the arrangements regarding your new ally support, I made my way into his quarters and searched them. The captain left in a great hurry. He didn't even check to see if the letters he'd thrown into the fireplace had burned properly. There were just some charred scraps left, but what they said was enough to figure out what he was doing and what his plans were. The Queen has ventured deep into the World Wound. Why hasn't he followed her? We haven't heard a word from Her Majesty in a long time. We all can sense that even if she is alive, it's unlikely that she'll triumph. The Queen must be saved, and it looks like the Captain doesn't believe that you're up to the task. No, that's not right. He's convinced himself that you are intentionally delaying the expedition to let her die. He hopes that, once you've been deposed, he can bring all of the remaining forces to her aid. What I find most tragic is that I understand the Captain to some extent. Despite all his intrigue, deep down, he's still a true knight. But just like any knight, he is fully devoted to his lady. Didn't you notice? From the very start, his loyalty was not toward you, nor the Crusader cause, but to Galfrey, to her and her alone. When she set out for Iz, he desperately wanted to accompany her, but his queen gave him a different task. Harmatan had to wait for Mendavian reinforcements in Dresden, form a secondary army, and only then could he move out in support of Galfrey. When you arrived and took command, I think it was a painful blow for him. Let's discuss in further detail. Sela, what's your plan? Choosing humanity over cruelty often proves to be a better way of handling disputes and problems. The soldiers are not at fault for being led by a criminal. They don't even know what he's up to. Before he gives the order to revolt, we'll receive the army as welcomed guests. We'll seat them right next to our soldiers. Let the two armies become one. We'll offer our prayers to the good gods, and then remind everyone that the spirit of the crusade is more important than our trivial quarrels. Once that happens, even if the captain is foolish enough to issue his order, no one will comply. That's your kind of plan, Sela. It hinges on an extraordinarily optimistic view of human nature. I, for one, believe that no matter what, the captain will certainly be foolish enough to give the order, and his troops will be foolish enough to carry it out. Regil, what do you suggest? The army doesn't know it's following a traitor. He wants to order them to arrest the commander, but we'll be one step ahead. We let the troops into Dresden, surround them, then promise to spare their lives if they turn in Harmatan. Then we can tell the warriors what sort of crime they were almost drawn into right before we execute the conspirator in public. They'll be grateful to you for sparing them from unknowingly being complicit in treason. Lessons like these, ones you pay for not with time or gold, but with blood. These lessons are invaluable both to soldiers and officers. Risky. What if he orders his troops to attack first? What if the troops listen to him? There will be a slaughter. No, we need to defuse the situation carefully without resorting to direct confrontation. Daerin, your opinion? I have plenty of powerful acquaintances in Nerosian. Some of them owe me favors, and I can offer a lot to others. An army captain is not that big a fish. A letter or two, and he'll vanish like he never existed in the first place. As for the nobles that will help us, we'll have a nice shared secret, and secrets in common bring people together. Having friends in high places that are bound by spilt blood will open new possibilities for us. I believe that you and your cronies are unscrupulous enough to murder a captain of the Crusaders. What I find harder to believe is that you'll be able to pull it off in Nerosian, the heart of Mendev, without getting caught red-handed. And even if you do somehow get away with it, the Crusade's command shouldn't stoop to covert assassinations. Sir Thomas, what's your advice? Greet the advancing army with the morning bell's toll. We will step out toward them and invite them to join us in prayer for all who have fallen in battle during this war. Captain Harmatan's plan is foolish, but he is a man of honor. We'll help him come to his senses and think better of issuing a treasonous order. The traitor is positive he's in the right. As soon as you take one step toward him, he'll command his forces to draw their weapons. Your plan amounts to surrender. Thank you, everything is clear. So, with Sela, we get the Feast of the Sacred Host decree. All generals gain 1 level to Heavenly Ward feat for 30 days. Infirmary size increases by 25% per level of this feat, and it's a repeatable decree. No thank you. For Regil, we get the Military Exercise decree, increasing generals' experience, and they gain tactical superiority at level 20. Military Exercise gets experience points, tactical superiority, all ranged units have extra bonus to damage against infantry, and infantry have damage to cavalry, cavalry to ranged. Pretty good. Daerin gives the Dark Bonds decree. All generals gain Mighty Servant feat. +3 bonus to power per level of this feat. Not very good. And Thomas, Great Commemoration. A random allied Crusader army is recruited at the commander's headquarters. Very expensive. And it's just a random army? Personally, I like Daeron's from a roleplay perspective simply because of the fact that it's basically a way to say, yeah, he's not going to be a problem, but because of the tactical superiority being good and military exercise meaning I'm going to be able to give more experience to my men all the time, I'm going with Regulus' plan. Plus, I do still think it's not a bad idea. It is a way to basically go, you men are being led by a traitor, turn him into us. I'm going with Regulus' plan for once. Good. I'm tired of hearing about these wary. We'll finally put an end to this farcical band of criminals once and for all. And the officers who are so unwise as to follow Harmattan will be taught a clear lesson. Alright. Now, before we end the episode, because it is about that time, I'm going to rest just to make sure that I get a rest done. So, swap this out for the cheese crostata. Thank you, and rest.
What's the alcohol situation underground? Do you have anything to drown your sorrows in?
You bet. Mold brew is a gourmet's dream. And tourists from Absalom used to come to us for our mushroom infusion.
You know, I have heard some interesting things about mushroom wine. Like, it tastes fairly bad, but it is a very exotic flavor that plenty of people went down to Avernum to go see. Especially in that one city that had particularly bearable wine. No, not that Avernum. You underhanded it to me. I had to make the reference. Anyway, I am going to end this episode here. Next episode, we'll go see what the Free Crusaders want to talk with us about, and then we will head out and take care of things in the southernmost reaches of the World Wound. Because we do have a couple quests to take care of down there. I think it'll be fine. But that'll be in the next episode. So until then, I am Chester44. Our surname is Falai. That is me. This has been a Let's Play of Wrath of the Righteous. And I shall see you all next time.